Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how to work your St. Expedito jars. So I'm going to set up a jar. I didn't have one made prior. We're going to set up a jar. Everything that I'm using, I'm going to also put in the description for those of you that want to make your own. And then you have the option always, of course, to purchase in your oils from me, your jars that are already made, Expedito candles, Expedito roots, herbs, like every single thing. So for a St. Expedito jar, it's going to be for things that you want quickly, things swiftly, things fast. And I have a video on Satan Expedito, and if you've been around me a long time and you ask me questions and email me all the time, I'll always give you the best advice to working with a folk saint. So he's a folk saint, okay? He's going to work a bit different than a canonized saint. Canonized saints are in the Bible. And he's going to basically do things his way. So with St. Expedito, his feast day is always April 19th. And I always do it big for him. I do a huge feast day for him in which I light up a group service for you. And I also do offerings for him. So I'll do offerings for him for everybody that has also purchased offerings separately. And then those that want new things, then I do like a separate service. I have like about 3 different types of services that I'll run for him on his feast day. So he'll get his offerings, which is from everything that he's done, and thank yous from everybody, even thank yous for myself for things he's done for me and for my clients' behalf. And then he'll get a service in which for current things. And then he has novenas where I set 9-day novenas, sometimes 14-day novenas, and jars and different things. So I have about a few things that I'll run for him. So on his feast day, many of my clients order jars that they are going to be working, and I want them to know how to work them. And if you're new to my channel, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. I want you to learn how to set up your jars and to work with a folk saint, because I see a lot of people, you know, asking me questions about working with saints and spirits, deities, and different things, and I'll give them advice pertaining to what they need to do. And then I see certain people that are under the impression or have been taught wrongly, and they feel like they could just light up a candle to a saint and that's it. And some of them don't even give offerings. And so it's very important that you know what to do when you're working with a folk saint, know how to dispose. When you're creating jars like this, you're not going to dispose. You're not going to leave it at a crossroads. You're going to keep it with you because you want that consistent energy to constantly always flow back and forth to you. So if you're in need of things for fast luck, good fortune, if you're in need for money to pay your mortgage, your rent, your car, money that someone loaned you, you want to give it back to him. If you're in need of a job quickly, if you're in need of an apartment quickly, if you're in need of anything quickly, even processing your paperwork, those of you that are doing your taxes, anything that you want swiftly and quickly to come right back to you, you can petition him. And when you petition him, you're asking him if he can grant you the favorable request that you're asking. You pray to him with St. Expedito. He loves attention. He loves red candles. He loves pound cake. He loves flowers. But those are offerings you give after. The attention you could give to him right away. So you'll make a jar for him. Make a really nice jar. Something nice, something red. Put in lots of herbs and roots. I'm going to work with a lot of roots. And I'm going to put in some quicksand in there. I have some double dip candles. So I have a little bit of everything that I'm going to be setting up for him. And I'm going to make sure that it's to his liking. It has to be to his liking. That's just how he is. He's not going to take just anything that you're going to throw together and then you're going to expect the best from him. So I'm going to make him a really nice jar. I'm also making his candle as well. And I'll show you what the candle looks like. And I'm also going to make sure that the petition is 100% acceptable. If you know about St. Expedito, if you watch my videos prior, he's been beheaded. So you got to come correct and you got to be 100% clear on what you are asking this folk saint. Okay? There's not a lot of information about him. Well, when I first started dealing with him, 2006-ish, I believe? When he first came around me, his energy, there wasn't a lot of information. There wasn't a lot to know about him, how to work with him. So over the years, and if you're new with a saint or folk saint, any kind of spirit, Orisha, Loa, DT, you work with them and you communicate with them, and they will tell you how to work with them. And that's how I learned how to work with him, by him communicating back and forth with me. And the offerings I gave, the petitions I've asked, certain things that my customers and clients want. A lot of my clients, they've been petitioning for new apartments. They've been petitioning for loans to be approved, and they've been petitioning for like their lotus stone rituals to draw in heavy money. They've been petitioning those with him as well. So I've been working a lot with him over the past couple of years. Yes, heavy, but this year and last year even heavier, to make sure that my customers and clients get certain things. Now, for some situations, you could do a reading, which is good. You could do a small 1 card flip. You could do a pendulum. You could do anything in regards to asking a yes or no. With Saint Expedito, he likes you to come to him and ask him in a petition. Sometimes he doesn't like you to get a reading on him to see, the outcome of things, as far as, is he going to give it to me? He likes you to wait on him. He likes you to be surprised. That's how he is. So for me, though, I prefer doing readings on everything that I do. But when it comes down to certain saints and spirits, if you communicate with them on a regular basis, you can just basically ask them and they'll tell you what to set up and what to do. And of course, with any ritual and spell that you do, time. You got to give them time. You're not the only one. You're not the only one looking for things, asking for things, needing prayers, needing requests. You're not the only one sending rituals and spells. There's hundreds and thousands. I could imagine millions of people that are petitioning the saints and spirits and their orishas and their ancestors and asking them for favorable requests. Just like when you pray to God and you ask him for certain things. You know how many people are doing it? Hundreds and millions and thousands of people are doing it. A bunch of people are doing it. So you have to think about that too. And you have to be patient when you're working with him. Even though he does things swiftly and quickly, you still need to give him time to think about if he wants to do it for you. Because a lot of people lie. A lot of people won't be under the impression, they can say they need, $20,000 for this and that. When in fact, they don't need fully $20,000. And with him, if you ask for $20,000 and he feels you don't need $20,000, all you need is $3,000, he's going to give you $3,000. Pay the man. If you ask him for $10,000 and he gives you $8,000, pay the man. If he asks you for, if you ask him for to pay off your car loan, and he pays it for 6 months, pay the man. Like, do not play around when it comes to the spirits, the saints, or anything that you owe to them, you promise to them, you give it to them. See, with certain, I'm not gonna make the video too long, but I'm speaking about saints and DTs and what to give, but because this is his video. When you say you're gonna give them something, they want it right up front. If it's a saint, they usually will take the offerings after. Folk saints, it all depends. Because some folk saints, they want this stuff right away. Some DTs, some Loas, some Orishas, they want this stuff up front. You give it to them. You give it to them. You don't play around. If it comes to an offering, you give it to them. You don't play around. You don't do none of that. Okay, so I'm going to build up his jar. I'm going to put all his roots in there. There's specific candles that he wanted me to work with. Just the double dip candles, spell candles. And then I'll dress them with his oils. The hoist is just to clean out the jar, clean him, clean his space, clean his settings, and just basically work according to his standards, okay? When it comes down to folk saints, you're on their time. That's how it is. So working with Saint Expedito, I'm going to set everything up. And I'm going to use $2 bills for the petition. You can use dollar bills if you want. Any kind of paper money that you can use to write down, you can use. You can use the hell banknotes as well. But remember, I told you guys, when you use play money, you get play money back in return. So if you can, use a dollar bill, use a $2 bill. I like the $2 bills because they're really, really lucky. Okay, so I'm gonna build everything up. Make sure your hands are clean. The spirits like when the hands are clean. I put gloves on sometimes, depending on certain herbs and roots and oils that I'll be using, because sometimes they do give my skin a different type of reaction. So depending on certain, like lemongrass, I always put gloves on using lemongrass because it always makes my skin feel itchy after using it. So certain herbs and roots I will put gloves on. Sometimes I want hands onto this. I want to touch everything. I have some of his quicksand that I'm going to be using. I love the quicksand for him. I may have like maybe a few bottles left, but once I made my quicksand and I saw how good he reacts to my quicksand, I kind of just want to use it for myself, to be honest. So that's what I do. Alright, so my Expedito candles is done. What I'm going to do also is I'm going to light some of the Lady Luck incense. These incense are really, really good for fast luck. So any type of luck that you're really looking to obtain, burn them on a regular basis. Maybe like 2 to 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and at nighttime. Or burn them every single time you do a ritual for him. When I use them, I see a bigger impact. But I also make my own incense as well. So I also make the self-lighting incense, and I light that up all the time. I'm always having that lit up in the house. So whatever incense works good for you, as well as the saint or spirit that you're calling upon, I recommend you using it all of the time. So I'm going to put basically all of the roots at the bottom, and then I'm going to put some of the red oil inside of it. I'm going to clean off. That's my candle right there. I forgot to mention that. So that's my Saint Expedito candle. I'm going to cut the bottom off. And it looks identical to his statue because this is the statue that I used to make it with. So what I'll do is I'm going to set everything up, and his candle is going to be lit on top of the jar alongside next to his statue. I'm going to clean it off with some hoids. I'm going to use a $2 bill as a petition. I'm going to use the quicksand. I'm going to use every single thing here. Like I said, I'll put this information in the description box and the links to the shop so you guys can follow along, purchase, and do the same thing and have the same setup. So my roots and everything that I'll be using. Plus, I have some roots under here too. I have some roots right under here. Saint Expedito Fast Luck roots. So I'm going to be using those as well. Okay? So this is my setup. I'm going to add a bunch of other things. I'm probably going to put some sugar and different things around it. His candle will be lit. I'm going to make a few more of his image candles. And these candles are at my shop as well. So what you'll do, you'll basically work the jar on a regular basis. I'm going to add in the petition after I've blessed it. And I'm going to put one under the jar and one inside. I'm not going to put it in right now because I'm not ready to do it right now. But once I'm ready to do it, everything will basically go inside. And you want to work your candles as much as you can to activate the jar. You can add a lotus stone in. Those are your curios you can use. These are lucky curios. These go inside mojo bags. You can work a ritual for him in sessions of 7, 9, even 14 days where you're working them on a consistent basis non-stop, using as many candles as possible. Prayers, incense, resins. Use your charcoal. The saints, the spirits, they love charcoals. And you can add a blend of different herbs and set up your altar a much more curios and roots if you like. You can keep it simple. I'm going to give them some cold water because the spirits always get thirsty as they're moving around and doing things for you. So I'm going to give cold water, and the things that I do or will promise to give once he grants my clients or my customers the things that they want, he will get paid after. Only after, not before. When you pay before, that's just something that you're going to be reckoning with because, as I mentioned earlier, he will take, they will take, and you won't get nothing in return for giving things early. So make sure you come to terms with what you're going to give if the petition is granted or if the amount that is close to what you want is granted. And pay them. If it's midnight, go find a store that's open. Pay them. Pay them early in the morning. Whatever the situation is, make sure that you pay the spirits, the saint, the deities, whomever you have came into reason with and said, listen, if you grant this for me by this day, and be specific. Whenever you say you want something, be specific what day you would like it by. Give them a chance and continue to work it. You may not be able to get it in 7 days. You may be able to get it in 21 days. You may be able to get it in 30 days. Maybe 45 days. It's called work because you really have to put work in. And some of you are not as strong to pull things in that heavy. Some of you are trying to get $20,000-$30,000 and you don't put no work in. So if you're trying to get really heavy money from the spirits and the saints and the ancestors, put a lot of work in, put a lot of time in, give them nice offerings, offer them wine, offer them cigars. These are the type of things I will offer him after. Expensive cigars, nice, high-class, expensive cigars, good wine, nice, beautiful roses, not the cheap type. So give them nice things in exchange for you getting your petitions granted. Like, subscribe, and stay blessed, guys.